Now let's get into that fight because that's happening on the 8th, which is Friday. Now, I can see a lot of the mainstream YouTubers have changed their direction on how they think this fight is gonna go.
Run it, man.
I was watching Carl Froch and True Geordie this morning. True Geordie was able to almost convince Carl Froch that Francis Ngannou will be a threat to Anthony Joshua. Now, I'm gonna break it down like this because a lot of people still don't understand this. If AJ gets into an MMA ring, the second that Francis holds on to him, it's over. Now, I wish people would stop disrespecting the art, which is boxing. There's a lot of skill that goes into that sport. This is not rock'em sock'em, even though they're heavyweights, it's not that. There's a lot of skill that goes into this thing. Tyson Fury has fooled a lot of people. The reason why he's fooled a lot of people is because he's a man who has extreme highs and extreme lows. Now, he went into that fight unprepared and unfit. Now, one thing in the boxing world is this. You need to be fit. Like, you can be fighting a world champion, but if he's unfit, that means he can't keep up with the pace. Fury could not keep up with the pace of what Ngannou had. Ngannou went into that thing very, very prepared, fit as a fiddle. His body was carved. You know what I mean? Officially, he was ready. Whereas Fury was the complete opposite. You only have to look at the pictures he posted when he pulled out of the fight the other day. Compare that to the Ngannou pictures. Fury was not prepared. Now, AJ will be prepared on Friday. He's going to go in there, and he's not going to go in there looking for a slugfest. He's going to stay behind his jab looking for openings. Now, this is a two-time unified world champion who's fought at the absolute highest level of the amateurs and the absolute highest level of the pros. Ngannou is not a good boxer. It doesn't matter. No man's going to come on this and tell me that he is. You only need to go and watch him against Derek... What's his name? Derek Lewis?
Derek Lewis.
Okay, so if my man's a top boxer, go and watch that fight and then show me any of AJ's how much fights where he's did that. Now, the reason why I'm showing you that is because he's very stiff. He don't know how to box. Fury was unfit and unprepared, even though he still should have won. That's not going to happen in this thing. AJ will box. He's going to box. He's just been fighting Usyk, for God's sake, man. Come on.
Hey,
Usyk!
One sec, sibling. One sec.
Come on.
I like the way you snuck in that Derek Lewis reference and then Francis Ngannou. That was, people would say that was one of the worst heavyweight bouts of modern history. So that's not necessarily a fair comparison, sir. He just come off a loss from Stipe Miocic, and mentally he clearly wasn't there. Derek Lewis won, strangely enough, but both of them had very much lackluster performance. Both the movement-wise, Francis has better movement than Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis is more pliable. He can do some real high kicks. He can do jumping, spinning kicks, and all that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't use that as the bar to show Francis's striking skills.
So where would you say then?
What do you mean?
What fight would you say has
some good striking?
Yeah, has given you to say like where he's behind the jab, head movement, because he didn't even show that in the Fury fight. Let's keep it real. That just became a scrap.
The first 2 rounds, he was throwing out the jab out there. Come on.
Not in a way that's going to be effective against Joshua. He's not he's not a boxer. He's just not a boxer, man. He's not a boxer.
He isn't, Mark. I am not going to fight you on that. I'm not gonna fight you on that because he's a mixed martial artist now, homing his specific skills on boxing, even though he initially started as a boxer. So he does have a rudimentary knowledge, not from an amateur standpoint, but when he went to France and blah blah blah, because that was his dream to be indeed a boxer. So he's got a little bit more in regards to boxing acumens. In regards to professional fights, he's had one. He hasn't even had any amateur fights. So he's clearly lacking. The road that AJ has gone down is it's apples and oranges, man. He should pick him apart and stop him with ease. If he's training like he's supposed to be training, he's not going to do what Fury did. I don't see this going more than 4 rounds unless Francis is just going to be stubborn and just take the punishment and ride it out. I don't see anything else happening apart from, the Hail Mary, that one punch, that little combination he might be able to throw, might be able to wobble him and then just rush him after. Not necessarily get another knockdown, but at least get a 10-8 round. But I don't see, just being honest, I don't see him being victorious in this bout against someone who is, as you say,
a two-time unified Olympic champ, Olympic.
Was it gold? In the
gold.
Olympics he got? You see what I'm saying?
2012, and that was not Zhang was in that. Zhang was in the Olympics, There you go.
All right then. Let me add one. Let me add something else to this. Now you won't know who I'm talking about. I don't think this is a Zahir Al Kahati or something. He's a WBC champion. He just fought yesterday in Qatar against a Muay Thai boxer.
Oh yeah. You sent me the thing.
Did you catch that fight?
No, I didn't.
Peep it after the stream, sibling. He got battered.
In mixed martial arts?
No, he didn't get battered.
In mixed martial arts?
No, this was a boxing fight.
Okay, yeah.
So he's a WBC champion for Saudi Arabia, right? And he fought a Muay Thai kickboxer, and he lost a unanimous decision. The Muay Thai boxer was styling on him, putting his chin out there, all kind of stuff, waving his hands in the air because my man was just winging blows, missing and stuff, clinching up every damn second. He was talking the talk. I'm gonna finish this dude. He's a Londoner. I'm gonna finish this dude in the first or second round. I'm out to finish it, man. I'm gonna show him what a boxer is. Yeah.
Different levels, Noble.
Of course.
There's different levels to this thing. Just because a man holds that green belt, that's the most corrupt boxing organization on planet Earth. Let me give you an example. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he was a champion. And you know who beat him?
Anderson
Silva, there you go. Because that's what's showing you. It means nothing to have that green belt.
Was he champion at that time, though? Did he have that belt at
No, he didn't have it at the time, but he held it, though.
Yeah.
The fact that a man's ever held that belt should mean that a non-boxer should never beat him. But again, remember the next stream is the day after the fight. So we only got a few more days to really to really see what's going on here.
Yeah.
But AJ will be very, very prepared. He will also have a game plan. Ben Davison, who was the one who mapped out Tyson Fury's comeback, he was in the corner for the first Wilder fight. My man will be able to map out a plan. This will be easy. But at the same time, because of what Fury did, I do understand why everyone's so gassed. Ngannou is a man. Just a man.
Yeah.
Just a man. Like, all these things, these punching machines and none of those things mean nothing. That is just a man. Joshua is actually the same as Ngannou. A massive unit. It's just that he's got a British accent. You stick an African accent on him,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm,
I'm telling you, he's just as scary.
mm.
Believe me. Remember, that's a Nigerian brother, you know.
It.
Like, this is not, no, that's a Nigerian cat versus a Cameroon brother.
Mm.
One who's boxed his practically his whole life from 18, and another one who's recently just experienced. This is not no, them bloodlines are different.
Mm.
Them bloodlines, it's not, you can't even put Fury in that. And I know people say, oh, them man's are, no. It's different. It's different with them bloodlines.
Yeah.
So when you see on Friday now, when you see on Friday when AJ butts it, he knows what he's doing. Trust me. It should be easy.
It should be, Mark, and
easy.
he should. No. Let me rephrase this, because I'm still rooting for Francis Ngannou. I'm still rooting for Francis Ngannou. It's a very slim chances of him winning, but he better go out there and boss up Francis Ngannou. Not obviously not hurt him, just as in like definitively beat him. Not in 12, not in a decision. Within less than 6 rounds, and get on the mic and say, "Look, I'm a professional boxer. I've held 2 flipping belts here. I don't know what that other guy was doing, yeah, but I'm here to make boxing great again."
That man is
Yeah.
gonna do. That's the only reason he took the fight, Noble. He's coming into this thing to show that the other guy was messing around and not taking this thing serious. He's come back to put some respect on boxing's name.
You better, Mark.
Now you got to think. Now that's one side of the coin. Now I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. If Ngannou wins this fight, people, he is the greatest combat sports athlete that ever lived. If he goes in there and beats Anthony Joshua,
Are you gonna put him over over Muhammad Ali?
he's the greatest combat sports. Ali couldn't do MMA and beat a world champion. He couldn't. I'm not talking about him being the greatest boxer, I'm saying the greatest combat. The fact that he's been able to be a champion in MMA on the level he was and beat 2 boxing champions. If he does that, he's the greatest combat sports athlete that ever lived. And he deserves 100 million in his next fight, and let him sail off into the sunshine, man. If he wins. But guess what? He's not going to win. So it's pointless even saying that, because AJ would be finished. If AJ loses this, don't box again. You're finished. You're done. A joke, which is how I look at Fury. Which is why I knew he wasn't getting in the ring with Usyk.
So all right then. Okay, right. So you said the fight's never going to happen. They're talking about this that they rebooked that for May, Mark.
They rebooked it again. They rebooked it for March 2 or February 2. Let's get into the ring first. Let's get in. Fury's the kind of man that will pull out on the day. Let's get into the ring. I've also said I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But Fury's a joker. Like he don't want to lose. He don't want to lose. And I'm not saying he will lose, but it's a very difficult task to prepare for a high level championship fight like that.
Yeah.
It's almost like, you know what it's like? I heard someone say this on one of them boxing phone-in shows a couple years ago. It's like climbing Kilimanjaro every 3 months.
Yes.
That's how difficult it is. So to be a man with 100 million in the bank, waking up every day next to your wife, hearing all your children running around the house, it's difficult to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning.
That's why you've got to take
when the
it off
butchers,
the people who are still trying to do it. I mean, as you say, Mark, to me, actually, with the mindset of a prize fighter, number one, which is totally different to our mindset. You know what I mean? To a point, there were definitely going to be similarities, but that kind of mindset keeps them saying, okay, well, when I was in amateurs, I thought if I make 50 million, that's it, man. They've made, let's say, 500 million. That's still not enough for them, because they've still got this mentality of, well, I haven't been really beaten like that yet. You know what I mean? I still want to do it.
Some,
But I got the children running around. I got the silk sheets, and
yeah,
I got the paparazzi. I got the Bugatti outside. I got the private yacht, and
some,
yeah, I'll train.
some will do that. Some, but let's go over some of the greats. Nassim Hamed.
Hmm.
Now he could have went on and made how much more millions, but once he reached that top level, he couldn't prepare in the same way. He couldn't. Once he got to that level of wealth, he could not go through them camps, which is why the Marvin Hagler quote is very relevant to this conversation. It's hard to get out of bed and jog at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. in the morning when you've not only got silk sheets but silk pajamas. When the butcher's delivering the steak to the house,
Yes.
it's difficult.
Yes.
Now remember, these men have to go through camps, no sugar, no drink, whatever. Remember, these men, it's different. It's different.
Mm.
So Fury, when I say that Fury's not gonna turn up, what I mean is, if he can go through the camp, he'll turn up. But remember, they said he was getting worked in camp, everything like that. So at some point, he's like, can I even do this?
That doubt.
Yeah, that he's a man who does that. You only have to listen to him in his interview. He's very, very flip-floppy. 1 minute he says one thing, another minute he says another thing. He just keeps changing his mind. It's very difficult. Like the hunger, these top level athletes are not the same as a normal man.
No.
So he gets to a level, you gotta just watch his documentary. Everything appears to be perfect in his life, meaning the fairy tale lifestyle, he's living it. So it's like, damn, I gotta go through this camp again now. You know what I mean? You're in camp, there's a young, hungry lion, as Floyd would say, who's trying to KO you in sparring.
Yeah.
You're in there like, whoa, yo. A man just licks off your chin, you're like, damn. You jump out the ring. The man's probably outside in a larder, probably living out of a larder. You know, you go back in.
You said larder.
You jump back in with him. You know to yourself, yo, this man's trying to take me out. Remember, you're in camp doing that. How long can you do that? These men are only human. Eventually, it's going to be like, loud this. And remember, you're doing the same interview every day.
This episode is sponsored by Supreme of the UK. Click the link in the description and support the broadcast.